welcome to a kind of funky, flowy vinyasa class. I'm calling it that because I'm gonna kind of go off script and do just do some movements, maybe a little dance party here and there, and allow yourself time in the poses to sort of get to know your body and change it and move it and modify it up. Do things that feel good to you. So we're going to start in a child's pose. I'm going to do kind of a wide-kneed child's pose, so my toes are closer together than my knees. And then I'm also going to let that be a little flowy, so just kind of weaving or wobbling back and forth a little bit. Deciding how much of my arms I want to extend. Sometimes it's nice to kind of curl the arms up underneath you. Sometimes I like the shoulder extension of reaching them out. And then when you found a place that feels relatively nice, then pause and just breathe. Now, if child's pose is not your jam, you can do any other starting pose. You can start with a seated pose. You can start lying down on your back. It'll work. You'll just get funky and flowy and find your way. So 2 more big breaths. Now I'm going to add a little side bend. So to do that, I'm just going to walk my hands over to one side. Now, you can reach really long through the arm. You can rotate the armpit up or down. You can shift the hips back. I like to try all of the above. And just find, right there. Find a spot that feels interesting. And we'll take about 3 big breaths here. And then I'm going to turn this into a twist. So I'm going to come back toward the center, take that same arm underneath me, let myself lean into the shoulder so my head is resting on the floor. And then this arm could go over your back. I like to push the floor a little bit so it deepens that twist. You can, if it feels interesting, extend the opposite leg. Kind of press yourself back up onto that shoulder a little bit more. If that's too intense, just bring the knee back down. And give yourself permission to find a little movement or a little stillness, whatever your soul is calling to you. Usually for me, a little bit of movement and a little bit of stillness are nice. Nice balance. So I'm just kind of gently wiggling my hips back and forth just to see, is there a spot where my sacrum is happier? And then digging into the shoulder stretch. So take one more breath there. And then we're going to come back to the middle. Now, before we go too far, come back to that original child's pose if you can, or whatever your original position was, and feel. Is there a difference on one side of the body versus the other? Oh, it's one of my favorite things. All right, so we're walking it over the other direction, reaching out, drawing the hip back. Maybe holding on to something. 2 more breaths. Oh, it feels nice to try to breathe into those edges. Take 1 more. Oh, and then we're going to come back and make it a twist. So again, turning the shoulder under, maybe adding that extended leg. Oh, maybe not. On this side it feels better. Couple more nice deep breaths. Inhale big. Exhale, come on out. Oh. Now again, if you can do it one more time, just return to that child's pose. Notice how it feels. Now we're going to take our child's pose all the way forward onto the belly and turn it into a kind of a cobra flow. So letting yourself lift into cobra, rolling the shoulders back and forth. Oh. Sometimes I like to take the arms back, let my head get a little rinse. Sometimes a little more of a seal or a sphinx where you kind of prop yourself up and then roll one shoulder forward, look over the other shoulder. See if you can get the shoulder blades to make a figure eight, kind of. Come back to the middle, to the other side, kind of rolling that shoulder forward, looking out over the back. The side's a little tighter for me, just noticing the difference. Come on back to the middle. Now, take ourselves up to all fours. And then work the whole spine. And similarly to that cobra, you can do different things with the hands. Sometimes I take them out wider. I love to turn the wrist into different directions so that I can feel a little stretch through this bottom part of my arm. Or just kind of changing up the way the wrist feels. Again, depending on the surface that you're working on, it might be a harder surface or a softer with the carpet. So the wrist can take a slightly different beating. Just make adjustments appropriately. Maybe further out is better than tucked in or vice versa. Oh, that feels nice. 2 more breaths like that. So we're going to transform this into a down dog. Adjust your arms to about shoulder distance apart. Let your shoulder blades travel up and down on your back a few times. And then settle them in so that your neck feels as long as possible. Draw your arms in just a little bit. And then we're going to work the heels one at a time. Press one heel down. And then the other, you want to add bigger dance moves here, you can. Make it kind of a disco dog. Take one leg and reach it up behind you. Give that a little hook over your back. Hug the knee in tight. Stretch it back and up. Spread out your toes. Step that foot forward. Now I'm going to bring my back knee down. But before I get there, I'm just going to go back and forth a few times. Just feeling out this lungy shape without my kneecap being involved. And then when I come forward, I'm going to bring the knee down and find a lunge that feels a little crescenty. I'm going to roll my shoulders up and then back and lean in. Roll the shoulders up, back, lean in. As I take myself back one more time, roll the shoulders around, lean in. I'm going to add a little twist. Now, some people might be able to reach all the way around. Take that arm all the way around, just wherever it goes. And then you may want to reach back and grab hold of your foot back there if that feels right to you as an alternative for making a bigger quad stretch happen. Nice big breath. Exhale, come on out of the twist. We're going to take this thing back to down dog. Give your dog a little dance. Feel the space that just was created, or the change, or whatever you want to call it. Add your vinyasa of choice. So maybe you want to do a full plank. Maybe you're going to modify your plank. Hug your elbows in nice and tight. Lower down, take either a cobra or an upward dog. Maybe 2. That's feeling good. I'm going to do 3. It's nice. Maybe you're already back to dog. And then go back and take your dog. Take your opposite leg up. Give that thing a nice big stretch. Bring it in. Stretch it back. Step it forward. And again, before I put this knee down, I'm just going to get a little funky, a little flowy. Just go back and forth a few times. I'm feeling out the front of the hip on the back leg, the knee, the hamstrings on the front leg. And then I'm going to come back to my lunge, bring that knee down, adjust, find the balance, and then come in and out a few times. Mm. Work. Oh. Now again, I'm gonna roll my shoulders down. And again, I'm gonna add that little twist. And maybe the arm wraps all the way around. Maybe it extends out, maybe grab your foot. This side's a little tighter for me. I'm gonna try just hand on the hip tonight. Last breath here. Release everything. Whew. Take it back to your downward facing dog. Right there. Make your dog, super flowy, wiggly, dancey, disco-y. And then add your vinyasa. Coming forward, choosing your plank, maybe a little three-legged plank. Lower yourself down. Come into your back bend. When you're ready, you take it back to dog. Nice big breath. Right leg goes up, or first leg, whatever leg it is for you. Give that a little hook over. Bring it in, give it a hug. Stretch it back. We're going to do 2 of those. Give it a hug. Stretch it back. All right. We're going to bring the leg forward. And then we're going to stay with this lungy shape again. And I'm going to rock back toward my heel and forward. So just kind of pressing, a little bit stretch into those calf muscles. All right, so now I'm going to try to balance and come all the way up. This could get weird. So then stretching that leg back. You can add a pulsation by bending the back knee. You can, hi plant. You can hold steady. One more breath here. And then we're gonna straighten out this front leg. I'm pressing this heel back. If I can't get it all the way to the floor, I can bring it slightly further forward. And so feeling both feet get nice and firm, keeping the hips mostly turned forward. I'm gonna fold down about halfway until I feel that hamstring stretch. Then I'm gonna flow back up. So flow down, flow back up. Flow down, flow back up. And then I'm going to let myself flow down just to the right amount. So for you that might have already stopped, press nice into the feet, feel this hamstring stretch, or maybe it's somewhere else. You can flow in. A little more calf stretch for me when I do that. Last breath. Okay, so I'm gonna get this just a little bit funkier. I'm gonna turn my hips, wiggle everything out. Sorry about the shot. And then, wander back into downward dog. So, feel, disco-fy your dog. Shake out your neck and see, is there a difference? That's nice. All right, so your plank, maybe a 3-point plank. Maybe you're going to support it, lower it down, come into your back bend, come in on back, downward dog when you get there. Taking that opposite leg up. And bring the knee in, hug it in, reach it back, bring it in, and then one more time. And then step it forward, and you're going to find your high lunge. But again, before I go all the way up, I'm going to reach back through this heel and come forward. Reach back through that heel and come forward. So I'm kind of feeling the flow change my ankle joint and my calf. Okay, so now I find the balancey place, or at least as close as I can balance. This one's wobbly. Okay, find the balance, connect to your core, hold steady. Or maybe it's not so steady. Maybe this back knee goes toward the floor a couple times. One more breath, yogis. Okay, so I'm going to flow forward a little bit. See if I can get my foot all the way to the ground. If it doesn't want to land all the way, bring it a little further forward. And then we're going to roll ourselves up. Flow forward. Ooh. Roll up. Oh. Flow forward. Stretch, 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 stretch. Roll up. Oh. It's hard on this side today. All right, we're going forward. And again, like I might stop there. I might stop down here. I might stop when my forehead touches my shin bone. Well, no, I'll stop before that, but you might. Oh. And again, like, do a little bit of movement. When I bend my knee and push my heel down, I feel more in my calf, less in my hamstrings, and the calf muscles on the back side. Ooh. All right, so we're going to step this whole thing back. Oh, feel that downward dog. Oh. And then we're going to come forward. And again, we're going to do a plank. You can add your extras on. You can bring your knees down, hug in nice and snug. We're coming all the way down to the belly. And we're going to do some locust. Now, locust is a cousin to the cobra in that they both ask us to use our back muscles to lift. But with the locust, we're also going to lift the legs. So I'm going to start with just the hands, or just the legs. So the hands are going to be positioned near my rib cage. I'm going to lift the torso, pull the arms back and lift the legs and reach out. Now your legs might go really high. If I try to lift my legs higher, I feel it in my low back. So I try to lift my torso higher. So I'm still working the muscles. I'm just not jacking up my sacrum. So reach through the legs. Nice big breaths. So this is where the pose gets its name. You kind of look like a grasshopper with little grasshopper leg arms. Nice big breaths. Or maybe they're tiny. One more. We got to breathe up here into the chest. And then come on down. Windshield wipe your legs back and forth. Oh, because yogis, that feels really good. All right. So we're going to take ourselves back. Now, before I get to dog, I'm going to do a little cat. Again, just kind of checking back in with my spine, noticing if there's differences to the way it was at the beginning, and then take it back into down dog. Once you get there, again, you can take your dog to the disco, or you can hold him steadier, her steadier. Oh. So that first leg, we're going to take that guy up, give that little thing a three-legged dog. If you've got lots of room, you can flip your dog. I'm just going to sink into this heel, shake out my neck a little. Whew. Nice big breath. Step that guy forward. So this time we're going to come to warrior two. So I'm going to bring my leg in. I'm going to swing this heel out so my hips face more to the side. And then come up. And then I like, rather than go immediately to the two arms, I like to take a little moment and just check in. So sway the hips back and forth a little bit. I've got dance music. I'll do it to the beat. I almost always have dance music going on in my head. So that works. Ooh. And then when I find something that feels like it's relatively relaxed, I spread out the toes, get a good solid base, and then we'll come back to the arms. So bring the arms up, grab an elbow, give it a little stretch, and then grab an elbow, give it a little stretch the other way. So it's like kind of a baby side angle. And don't close your eyes. And a little baby reverse warrior. Oh. Okay, take it all the way back to reverse. And then all the way over to your side angle. And all the way back to reverse. And over to your side angle. Oh, I'm going to stay one breath. Whew. And then I'm going to come back to reverse. And come back to side angle. And this time I'm going to stay a while. So I'm going to feel my way in. See, like, can I connect this shoulder more completely to my upper back? Flow in and out of it a little bit. Find the spot where it's like, that feels nice. At least for tonight. One more big inhale. Oh, all right, we're coming all the way up. We're gonna, again, make this a little funkier. So we're gonna turn the feet. And then I'm gonna start by folding forward. And then, ooh, maybe I can even see you guys underneath there. And then I'm gonna let my toes turn out and let this go into more of a kind of side squat, half squat. So flowing over and back. Now some people can touch their buttock to their heel, like they can squat that deep. That's not in my range of motion, but it might be in yours. You can also keep this more shallow and just have a little bend in your knee if your range of motion is a little tighter than mine. Okay, one more time. Oh. And then we're gonna turn this thing around. Actually, I'm gonna go this way and step it back to down dog. So maybe turn yourself around unless you're looking at the one side. That's okay too. So take a moment. We're gonna add the vinyasa, coming forward, lower and down. Oh, coming into that back bend. Maybe two. And then take back to down dog. Oh. So once you're back in your dog, we're gonna do that other side. As best I can remember what we did. So I'm just holding that three-legged dog. You might be flipping yours upside down and pressing into the heel of my standing leg, keeping my neck nice and soft. Ooh, and then step it forward and come to your warrior two. In whatever way works for you. And again, invite you to get a little flowy, a little funky. Add some dance moves. Oh. Sometimes it's harder for me to teach that. It's like, well, what does the dance move look like? I don't know. It looks like some. So again, I'm going to kind of give myself this little pull on the elbow. A little pull on the elbow. So it's just a little baby shape. A little pull on the elbow. And then one more. And then I'm going to let it turn into a side angle and a reverse and a side angle. Oh, and a reverse. Oh, and then a side angle that I'm going to stay with for a second. Oh. And again, let yourself explore that pose. Maybe you want to add a bind to yours. Oh. So we're going to take it down and around. Oh. I'm going to turn around this way. So it's a little different. Turn your toes in. Let yourself hang. Rinse things out. Oh. You can bring it forward. And then we're going to turn the toes out enough that you can turn it into that little half squat flow. Back and forth. Oh, yogis. All right. So then finding your way back into your down dog. I'm going to get a drink of water before I do that. Because talking and doing it at the same time makes my mouth dry. Now, you can throw in a vinyasa if you are feeling like you've had enough of the vinyasa, then don't do that. Just hang out with your down dog. All of us are different. We have different injury histories, different reasons we might want to limit the repetitive motion. So take this leg up and give it a little hip over, and then we're going to hug it in and swing it open. And hug it in. You can round up, oh, and then swing that guy open. And then hug it in and hover. Oh, 2, a little tighter, 1. Reach it back, and then come forward with this leg. And again, we're going to come into a shape that's a little funky. So I'm going to bring my foot a little more on the diagonal. I'm going to take this leg and bring it down kind of like warrior one. So it's a little more pointed toward the front. But again, having this diagonal, I'm going to lean forward into this. It almost turns into a planky kind of shape with the back leg. And then walk it back until you feel this hamstring stretch. So forward almost into a plank. And then walk it back. Oh. And then forward. I'm coming up onto those toes. And then walk it back. And we're going to hold here. And this turns into our humble warrior. You can bring this leg in at this point a little if you like. You can wrap yourself up into a reverse prayer or another bind. I'm going to take one arm out, leave one arm up, and I'm going to kind of make this a little bit twisty as I play with it. So I've got some support. My legs are firm. I'm stretching my mat apart. And my upper body has a little bit of freedom of movement. Ooh, last breath. All right, then we're going to take this into like a pigeon kind of a shape. You might flip it upside down. So I'm going to step this leg up and bring it down. I'm going to work this back leg as far back as it'll let me go. And then allowing myself, here we go, a little bit of softness. I'm going to take a blanket and tuck it in under my hip here. Like that. Now, you might have a block or a blanket. You can stay upright and reach back and grab this foot. You can stay upright without grabbing the foot. I'm going to add a little bit of a twist. So I'm coming around this way, and instead of staying in one place, I'm going to let myself kind of back off and then go in a little more to that twist as my breath finds me. And then I'm going to come away from the twist and just pause. We're going to take about 5 more breaths. You might want to lay down on your face. That's fine. A little more twist. Okay, one more. And then we're going to take this back into a down dog. So you're going to tuck your toes. You're going to lean yourself forward enough that you can unwind this whole thing back into down dog. Now, when you get there, you may just want to pause and walk your dog. I've got a nice wide foot dog here going. You might want to do a vinyasa. So you'll throw that in. And then we're going to come back to a regular dog. Take your opposite leg up. And then we're going to hug it in. Circle it. Hug it in. Circle it. Hug it in and hold it for 3. A little higher. A little higher. Stretch it back. Step it forward. And again, you're going to find kind of a diagonal with a warrior one shape, a little wider. And we're going to come right into this space and stretch it out and bring it forward and stretch it back. And bring it forward and stretch it back. Okay, so then we're going to find this humble warrior. I'm going to bring that leg in a little bit. I'm going to let myself bow over. And what I did last time is I had one leg out wide, or one arm out wide, one arm on my leg. And then I just let myself find some little twist. I'm seeing if that feels good on this side. It does. It does indeed. I carry a lot of tension in my upper back. It definitely feels good to move there. So one more breath of bowing over this space. It feels good to be humble sometimes. And then we're going to take it into our pigeon. So I'm going to pick that leg up, bring it around, find a spot for the blanket, and see if I can get that leg out straight. And again, I might want to do a little twist. You might want to grab that foot. Just being willing to be a little funky, a little flowy, a little loose. Finding your own rules a little bit. I mean, there's the basic shape. That's the rule. But maybe we find our own rules a little bit within that. Okay, then I'm going to settle in to my, pigeon shape here just a little bit. This side's a little spicier. I'm not feeling as low to the ground. Couple more big breaths. All right, so we're going to take this thing back, big inhale. And then you're going to exhale and find your way back to your dog. Now, once you get back to your dog, you have some options. You can get a little disco. You can get a little disco and add your Vinyasa sequence. I'm going to do these little cat rolls, because that's feeling good. One more breath. And then we'll take ourselves one more time into a lungy shape. So we're going to step this foot forward. I'm going to get relatively tight, balanced on my toes. Come on into the lunge. Whew. And this is where things get kind of fun. So first I just want to get centered, because I'm going to try to balance, okay? So I'm going to tilt forward. I'm going to lengthen through my core, and then I'm going to see if I can come up to the toe and then pick that leg up. And there might be some furniture that you borrow. You might borrow a block. And then I'm going to bring my hip as level as I can. Reach out through that leg. Try to do as much of this without a lot of support. Ooh. At the end of a long day, sometimes I'm tired, y'all. So feeling where your energy level is. And then we're going to take this thing one more time and step it as best we can. Whew. Back into that lunge. That was not very pretty, but I did what I could. And then taking that lunge back through to our down dog. All right. And again, choosing your options, adding the Vinyasa or keeping the Vinyasa out of it. Whatever's right for you. All right, let's take that down dog on the other side. Okay. Again, and then again, and then again. We're gonna step it forward into our lunge, bringing it around, finding that balance. See if you can come out up into the lunge without wrecking your furniture or yourself, as the case may be. And we're going to lean into this, gather through the core, try to pick that leg up nice and slow, using what you need. Bring that hip down as low as you can so that it feels level. Reach through that leg, maybe hook the leg up and bring it back out. And hook it up and bring it back out. Maybe balance and look, ma, no hands. Last breath here. And then we're gonna step ourselves back. Take that down dog one more time. Not the last time, but one more. And again, feel where it landed you. We're gonna take it into our Vinyasa or just hold and dance. Eat that block. Now, from down dog, we're going to take that first leg up again. Oh, I'm going to step it forward. I'm going to find my warrior two. And then from here, I'm going to rinse out one arm. So I'm going to start with a shake. And I'm going to do some wrist circles. Ooh. Oh, that's nice. And then I'm going to circle that whole arm through a range of motion. Adjust the hips as you go, other direction. And then shake that arm out. Do the other side. Wrist. Feel the arm you just did. Other direction. Arm circles. Nice and big. Woo, whatever range of motion you got. Other direction. Ooh. Ooh. All right. So holding this for a while with my legs and feeling that power. Come on back. Straighten out that leg, go deeper if you can. And then take yourself to your triangle shape. And again, making modifications that seem right to you tonight. Whether that's adding a block, grabbing your ankle, floating your arm. Allow some length in your spine. Release it. Lengthen. Release it. Lengthen. Oh. Lengthen. Your choices. One big breath. Oh, all right. So we're coming around to this wide angle forward bend. Here, I'll turn the other way. Because we're going to try. Ooh. See if we can get our elbows on the ground. Something's helpful, like a block or pillow, if that sounds ridiculous, and it probably is. So, see if your elbows will find a block, or if they'll find the ground itself. And I'm doing this little back and forth just to kind of explore, and then I'm going to feel for how far back can I lean without falling over. So I'm letting the weight of my elbows rest, or my hands, as the case may be. So I've got that as a ballast. I'm just leaning back. Bending the knees is sometimes appropriate. So if it's too sharp, especially at your sit bone, bend your knee. I just like to get a little bit of movement and not necessarily hold it static the whole time. Ooh. All right, one more breath. Excellent. All right, so we're going to take this and turn it into, so I get the sweat out of my eyeball. We're going to turn this back into a down dog. So choosing, how you get there, and adding your vinyasa or holding that dog. So when you get back to your down dog, take a moment, lift your other leg up. And again, we're going to step that into a warrior two. I'm going to come up. Find the balance with the hips. Again, we're going to hold the legs for a while. So we're going to start with just swinging the arms. Different arm on top. And then make a little snaky wave happen. And then bring the palms face up and just see if you can make some circles or some figure eights. I go the other direction. And then we're going to take this nice and long. Come back to reverse. And we'll take our triangle shape. Again, kind of working your way in. Finding it a little funky, a little flowy, a little loose, a little open. Yogis. Just breathe. Okay. So once again, we're going to come back around to our wide angle. This time, if you care to, you can either wrap your arms behind your back and lace your fingers together, or if you're like me and you have tight shoulders, you'll benefit from having something like a strap between your hands. So if you've got a towel, or you've got a dog leash, or you've got a yoga strap, put that behind your back, hold onto it with your palms, and then when you fold, give yourself the amount of room you need to be able to get your arms to come almost up vertically. And again, I can keep movement going here, do a little bit of side to side with the legs and the arms. Be careful of buckles. I've accidentally smacked myself in the teeth before. It's not pleasant. I'm going to draw in my shoulder blades towards each other, just kind of pivoting my hands a little bit with the arm bones and pulling more with my thumbs. Oh, rinse out your neck. Take one more breath. Ooh, little inversion. All right, so we're going to come out of here slowly, and we're going to wind up in a low lunge. Now, if you want the vinyasa, step back into dog, do your plank, lower down, that jazz. If you don't want the vinyasa, bring that first leg forward, wherever you are, bring your back leg down, and this time, we're going to go into a lizard. So we'll give you guys the chance to finish the vinyasa, those of you that are doing that, while I, and those that went with me, just weave back and forth a little bit. And then we're going to get down low, super low to the ground. So you're going to see if you can bring your elbows to the ground and also bring your hips forward. You can use the block on the floor instead of putting your elbows on the ground. Oh. I'm going to let this leg kind of fall open and come back and fall open. And I'm just letting my pelvis tilt with that. Normally, if I'm trying to get my back to love the twist, I wouldn't do that, but this is all about my hips. All right, so then I'm going to ease myself back and kind of work towards this hamstring stretch. You may be in a position where you've stretched out enough that you can do a full front to back splits. So if that's you, you can definitely do that. Now, I would recommend, if you've not done the split since you were a kid, take a yoga block, put it underneath your thigh, and as you come down, go down just to the block, okay? So that you can get yourself in and out of that pose. I don't have enough room for this, but you get the idea. So you can get yourself in and out of there without doing too much damage. Ooh, and then one of my favorite poses right now is the gate, and we're going to head in that direction. So once you're done with this full front to back splits, you're going to back yourself back off to the halfway point. We're going to take the hip to the ground like that. And then you can bring this foot in tight. Now, if this is ridiculous for your knee, then don't do it this way. Bring your leg around this way, so the foot's in front, okay? So it's really up to you as to which one is going to be better. This one is my favorite pose this week, and it might have been lasting for a few weeks. There's a lot of reasons, but I don't put my hip in this position very often, and so it feels different and nice to take a different shape. And then we're going to side bend out over this leg. You can hold onto your foot with either hand. You can wrap your arm behind your back and let the chin kind of fall open, so you stretch that little area right here where the lymph drains from our face. Oh. Breathe nice and deep into all the places. Two more breaths. I'm going to take this arm out, or if it's over your head, you're going to bring it back up. We're going to sit up. Now lean into this hip and take your back leg all the way around. And before we go any further, let's get a little funky, a little flowy. Rinse it out, my friends. Oh, you can do some little windshield wipers. All right, so the leg that was in front is still going to be straight. This other leg is going to be the leg that I twist with. You can, if you'd rather, do this leg bent. That's fine. Actually, that's kind of nice. I don't put my foot over here because when I do it tilts my pelvis off the ground, but you might. Sit up nice and tall, lean back slightly, twist. If you're trying to get your arm to the outside, do that here, and then bring yourself back up tall and hold steady. I'm going to press this leg toward the ground. I'm going to press this foot into the floor. I'm going to lift nice and firm, lengthening out my spine. And then I'm letting my upper back do as much of the twist as possible. So my core, my legs are all holding me in place. And then my spine has a nice twist. And I'm going to keep my neck free here. Because I've liked to look and see, like, do I have a little tension in that part of my neck? I fell asleep on my couch last night and woke up when the sun came up, and it is not the best place for my neck to fall asleep. It does not have all the ergonomic pillows. So I've got a little bit of tension there still. So one more breath. And then we're gonna, release everything. Drop the legs out. And then just pause and let your spine absorb the twist. And then we gotta do the other side. So the question you have to ask yourself is, do I want to pull my knees into my chest, cross my ankles, roll over my legs, jumping back into chaturanga, do an up dog, do a down dog, and then come into my lunge on the other side? Or am I just going to kind of swing this thing out to the side and take myself just directly to down dog? Maybe even skip down dog and go directly to the lunge. But I like the dog. It feels nice. And then we're going to take ourselves into that low lunge on the other side. So again, I'm going to angle myself a little more on a diagonal. So I can pretend that I'm seeing you guys. I can see some of you. And then finding that lunge, maybe putting the elbows down on the ground or down on a block on the ground. And then maybe letting the leg drop open. And again, if you feel sharp pain or stitchy things in your joints, you definitely don't want to do that. Readjust your body. If it feels kind of pleasant and interesting, explore it, see what happens. You're going to be all right. You're a grown-up. I learn from my practice all the time. It tells me what I should and shouldn't do. Not as clearly as sometimes as I would like, but feeling my inner body squeeze in is definitely an indication that I'm going too far. All right, so we're going to ease the hips back. We're going to find this little forward, bendy, half monkey or a full splits, as the case may be. If for you that's a better idea, do that one. And then let yourself fold into it. Breathe. Last breath here. Now, if you went for the full splits, please take your time getting out of there. If you didn't go for the full splits, hopefully you can just settle yourself right down onto the ground and you're in the gate pose. And again, adjust. Like once you're here, make your knee happy, make your hip happy. Rotate a bit. Give yourself that nice long side stretch. I'm trying to figure out how to position my microphone while I'm trying to do yoga is not easy, y'all. But I want your vocals to be clear. So I'm trying. And again, maybe it feels really nice to wrap the arm behind you. Let a little space develop around your neck. There's more to yoga poses than just the muscle and the bone arrangement. There's also the skin and the things that are happening right underneath the skin in the superficial fascia. and the lymph and our circulatory system, and just the whole relationship of the diaphragm to the inner cavity of the body where the organs live. Take a nice deep breath, push the stuff around. So we're going to do one more big breath. And then we'll come up and we'll gently release that shape. And again, before we go into the twist, just pause. Let your spine adjust. Feel things. Notice how your hips responding. I'm noticing my neck, and it feels like I just got a little more space right around my collarbones. Feels nice. All right, so this leg could be straight. This leg could be bent. You can bend this leg also and adjust the legs however the package is best for you. Sit up tall, lean back slightly, rotate. See if your arm wants to go there. If you don't have your arm doesn't want to go there, don't put it there. And then sit up tall. So you're bringing yourself back up to a tall space. Put your hand down behind you. This leg roots into the ground. This foot roots into the ground. Sit bones root into the ground. Everything else is growing tall. You might take the head over the front shoulder or over the back. You might make it a little flowy and funky. Two more. Okay, so we're going to come around, releasing that twist, give everything a shake. That feels nice. And again, let yourself come home to your body. Feel how the practice impacts you, whether we're doing that in downward dog or here in a seated pose. It's all all interesting, all kind of different places to take ourselves. All right, so we're going to start with this butterfly for a forward bend. You might wind up shifting this into a different shape, but for now, kind of rock your sit bones out from under you. Let it be a little bit of a big diamond here, not so tight. Again, we might change it in a second, but let's start kind of wide. So sometimes this is referred to as the star pose. So you can call it whatever you want. Star is kind of nice. I like that idea. And so I'm letting my pelvis, wherever the pelvis will tilt, and it may not tilt forward very much at all. Some people are going to find that their pelvis stays quite far back. One thing that does help if your pelvis tends to lean back is if you sit up on the edge of a pillow or a blanket. And I mean on the edge, so that your sit bones, the little bony parts right on the bottom, are right on the very, very edge, the very precipice of that blanket or pillow. That will almost act to tilt your pelvis forward. And again, it may not go all the way forward where you can put your face down into the center of your feet, but it might give you a little bit of a forward tilt. Now, taking a couple more deep breaths. Just seeing how low it feels okay to go. So letting the back round like a turtle shell. All right, so this is where things could change. So you could bring your feet in tighter. You could take this out in a V, okay? You could just leaving your butterfly where it is, try to stick an arm underneath the center point of each knee. Now, for me, this is better if I go wider. So I'm going to take my legs out wide. I'm going to put an arm underneath each leg. And then I'm going to kind of press my palms down and let the legs just rest heavy on my wrists. So this is a version of the turtle pose. Some people can wrap their arms all the way through their legs and around and clasp them behind their sacrum. I am not one of those people. But if you are, do that at your house. It's cool. It's almost circusy. All right, so pressing the palms down. Maybe even the elbows are touching the floor. Mine are not quite there, but it's close. And 2 more breaths of your turtle shape, whatever version you're doing. And what I like about the turtle, go ahead and inhale your way out of there, is when you release your arms, it feels like my shoulder's just been kind of tractioned into a really nice stretch. And I like it. All right, yogis, we're going to do some stuff on our back. So if you have a strap handy, it will come in handy here. You can also do it without the strap. Okay, I'm going to lay this way because it'll be easier on the mic. So take a block and put it nearby if you've got a block. If you don't have a block, use a pillow. That will give you something to use if you want to do a supported bridge at the end, which I do. If you want a blanket under your head, take a blanket, put it under your head. Okay, so we're going to recline. And once you're reclined, you're going to do some little windshield wipers with your legs. Oh, I'm going to come down a little bit so I'm closer to the edge of my mat here. And then we're going to pick a leg. Doesn't matter which one. Bring that leg in, give it a hug. This is my right leg. If you want to start with your right leg, start with the right leg. Left leg is stretched out all the way. Hold on to this right leg. I'm going to give my foot a spin. Oh. And so, that feels good. Go the other direction. Just giving the ankle joint some love. A little point and flex. Now this is where things are going to get a little funky and flowy again. So I'm going to start with my hand. So I'm going to grab my big toe. You could grab your foot, or you could grab the ankle, or you could use the strap here. So I'm going to bend my knee and kind of pull it almost to the ground. Let this side lift and stretch it out. Then I'm going to let this rest, and I'm going to go as straight as I can, given the circumstances on this leg. Okay, pull it down. Try to get that thigh to the ground as best you can. Stretch out this first side. Oh, and then we're going to go up into that hamstring stretch. Last one. Bring the thigh to the ground. Stretch. And you might even pick this leg up off the floor and reach. Oh. And then come on back down. And this is where we're going to kind of commit to this, which is the reason that I like to have a strap. Because I can be more relaxed in my arms. So I can wrap my arm up in that and then let my arms relax, right? So if I'm holding onto my toes, not so relaxed in my arms, quite a lot of work actually. So again, here, I'm going to be a little funky flowy at first. Bend the knee, pull my toes down, push my heel up. Oh, feel that stretch of the calf muscles. Point the toe, take that away. Bend the knee, flex the foot, press up through the heel. Oh, it hurts so good. Come on, baby. One more time. Oh, just press through that heel. And then you're just going to back off to the point where it feels like, yeah, that's a nice place to land. We'll take a few breaths there. And then we're going to go out to the side. So your block might come in handy, or maybe you've got furniture nearby that may also stop you from going too far. So you could take that block, put it right in under the hip. It gives you a place to land your leg. If you've got a credenza nearby, or whatever you want to call it. I love the word credenza. I don't know why. I don't even know what it means. It's just a great word. I want to call all the furniture that. Oh. All right, so finding kind of that place of the stretch. And again, there's nothing wrong with softening and going back into the stretch. In fact, often for me, it feels a lot better to do that, especially the first few moments of holding. It's just flow in and out. Get a little fun, get a little loose. Feel what happens as you extend all the way to the edge, and then feel what happens when you come away from that edge. Okay? And then go slow and find the very beginning of sensation and then hold there. And if it invites you to go a little more towards the sensation, go a little deeper. If it tells you to back off, stay. Don't go anywhere. How do you know if it's telling you to back off? Tension in your face, pain, burning sensations. Those are all reasons to back off. Take a nice big breath, and numbness and tingling. All right, so we're going to come on back and we're going to turn this into a twist. Now I'm going to lose the strap and I'm just going to bring my legs over. So I'm going to start with this guy like this. Then I'm going to kind of wrap him around my lower leg friend, and I want a block right there so I have a place to rest my legs. And then I'm going to rotate my upper back, and this is where I'm going to kind of add a little flow. So I'm going to bring my arm across, and then I'm going to peel it back Roll into that shoulder. Try to weight that shoulder nice and heavy, and then stretch that arm out. Okay, bringing it back. Oh. This time I'm going to go up like a rainbow shape. I'm going to make a big arc over my head. I'm going to reach, reach, reach. Oh, and when I find that spot where I've got a nice stretch through the chest, sometimes it's more like the Statue of Liberty. Sometimes it feels more like I'm an airplane wing. Then I'm going to get heavy here and take a few more deep breaths. And you might need like a little bit of adjustment through the hip, or your spine might be telling you a story about life. So figure those things out. Now I'm going to let this arm get really soft. So I'm not reaching through it anymore, but it stays right where it was. It's just a little subtle change, but it's cool. All right, yogis, we're coming back to the middle. So you're going to take a big breath. Oh, exhale it back to the center. Oh, this is my favorite part. Okay. Rinse off your arm. Oh my God, that feels so good. Oh, yogis. Rinse off your legs. Oh, this side of my body just feels like it's all melty, close to the ground. It's good, yogis. Let's do the other side. What do you say? Grab your other leg. Oh, this is the part where you think to yourself, damn, I wish I were an octopus, because then I'd have 7 more sides to go. See, I even like my favorite yoga jokes when it's only me in the room. Go the other direction. I think I'm hilarious. That's all that matters. All right, back and forth with the foot. Nice point and flex. Oh, goodness, yogis. I'm glad you put up with me. All right, back and forth. All right, so we're going to hug the leg in. You're going to reach up here, maybe grab your toe, maybe grab your foot or your ankle, or use the strap. Okay, so this is where I'm going to pull my knee down and stretch. So maybe I don't get my thigh all the way to the ground. Doesn't matter. As long as this side is lifted, we're going to get the nice, length. And then I'm going to go and try to, straighten that baby out. Bring him on down, stretch it out. Oh, goodness. This side is heavier. And then, stretch that side out. Okay, one more time. Bring it down, get a lift. I'm going to take this leg up and kind of swing it around. Oh, because there's a fun range of motion right there. Okay, so then I come back to here. You can stay right there, or you can grab your strap and just make that a little softer on yourself. Being careful of buckles. And then again, kind of finding the right amount of sensation. I'm going to back off a little bit because it's just feeling a little sharp. And I want to be able to do this little thing with my foot, where I really press up into those calf muscles. Oh yeah, and then relax. Press up into those calf muscles. Oh, that's so good. And then relax. Oh, yogis, yogis. One more time. And then I'm going to hang out right there and root myself. So I don't have a whole lot of room for my legs, so I'm going to press into the furniture I've got here. But I'm kind of pressing my pelvis down into the floor, trying to keep it neutral so I can feel that little curve under my low back. Adjusting for how much sensation I'm feeling back here. One more breath like that. All right, so we're going out to the side. So I'm going to bring my little block over, put it right in underneath the edge of my hip. It's going to almost kind of be on a diagonal, and then my leg can just rest on that diagonal. If it's too close, I just move the block out. This feels pretty good. I have really sensitive spots right here where my adductor attaches at my knee. That spot for me is so tight and so tender. I don't need a lot of sensation here for it to be good. You might need to get your leg all the way to the ground before anything happens, and that's fine. If your range of motion is smaller than mine, it's smaller. If it's bigger, it's bigger. Everybody's range of motion is different. We're all genetically a little different, even if we have siblings. I have siblings that have different ranges of motion than me. And so you're just finding the pose that's your shape. Oh, that feels nice. And again, I'm adding just a little bit of dynamic to it, just so I feel a little kind of tender sweetness, a little kindness to my body. All right, so we're going to bend that knee. We're coming across into the twist again. I'm going to let this go. You can keep the strap if you want to. I'm going to bring this leg in so my legs are kind of wrapped almost like an eagle, and then I'm going to find the right amount of support for them here. And then, oh, this is where things get fun. So I'm going to bring this arm all the way across. I'm going straight over, and I'm going to try to press that shoulder into the floor and find a stretch, okay? I'm going to make a little adjustment. Now, I'm going to bring it back. I'm going to draw that arc over my head. So I'm going up, reaching out, and I'm trying to adjust the bones, just to the point where I find that stretch that's like, oh yeah, that's the shizzle. That's the one you want. Okay. You can bend the elbow. You can adjust the arm. You can roll a little back and forth. Adjust through your hip. Oh. So again, it's a little flowy. It's a little funky. There's not an exact right spot. You're trying to find the sweet spots. Yoga asana has two qualities according to the Yoga Sutras. They should be steady, sturdy. They should bring a sense of strength, and then they should also have like a little sweetness, a little sense of ease or well-being. So if we can get both of those, that's what we're going for. Couple more breaths here, yogis. Now, big inhale. Let go with a nice big and then we're going to bring it on back to the middle. Oh, it feels so nice. Shake out your arm. And then, windshield wipe your legs. Now, before I go into a final relaxation, I'm going to do an inverted posture for a little bit. Now, the one that I like to do is called supported shoulder stand, which somewhere down the road, I heard this called martini pose and thought it was hilarious and kept it. So martini pose is what I've been calling it for years, because it's almost as good as a cocktail at the end of the day, or maybe better. So you're going to put it under your pelvis. You don't want the block under the curve of the low back. That should be able to be free to curve as needed. I am resting my sacrum and the two joints that live where my sacrum and my pelvis meet on the back side, not the front side, but you get the idea, hopefully. All right, so I'm going to float one leg and then the other up. Make sure that it doesn't hurt or feel funky in my low back or in my sacrum. And then I'm going to bring the legs up. And I like to sometimes do some little circles or some little shakes. Take the legs out wide, sweep them together, add that little bit of core work, so you gotta stabilize yourself. Yeah, you can do one leg at a time, kind of finding the right amount for your hip. Oh, and then the other side. Oh. All right, and then it can just be hanging out upside down. Now, if this one's not right for you, you can keep your feet on the ground and do a supported bridge, because that's still an inversion. Your hips are higher than your head. You can put your legs up on the couch, on a chair, up a wall if you got a wall handy. And leaving your pelvis the same as your head makes it a partial inversion, but for some of us that's going to be better. So reasons you may not want to invert include, like, you don't want to pressure on the back of your eyes. People with glaucoma or a diabetic retinopathy or a floating or detached retina, those are reasons you definitely wouldn't want pressure on the back of your eyes to increase, and sometimes it does when you go upside down. So if that's a concern to you, don't go upside down. Sometimes there are blood pressure issues that aren't controlled well, and that could be problematic as well. Now, if when you come out of an inversion you feel slightly dizzy, don't come out quickly. You're going to want to come out slow. So I've dropped my feet to the ground a moment ago, and then I'm now going to take that block out. So I gave it a minute, and then I'm going to give myself a little Rinse right there. And then you're going to find a position to stretch out in so that you can relax. So you might do kind of a star shape, or you might put some pillows and blankets around, especially if it's a little bit chilly at your house, cover with a blanket. Close your eyes. And just let yourself be for a few minutes. Shavasana is in many ways the most important of the yoga poses because it lets the nervous system really assimilate all of the stuff we've just done. And hopefully we've been breathing deeply and we've been doing things that allow our nervous system to stay relaxed. But if for any reason we were a little pushy or we may have been a little edgier, this gives our nervous system a chance to really let go. And you may have to find a position that lets you really relax. Sometimes after I've sat for a second, I notice, oh, I'm holding tension. So now let it go. And then you can either just imagine that your body is gently releasing into the ground all at once. Or you could go through your body, kind of systematically start at the top of your head and feel the top of your head relax. Relax the forehead and around the eyes. Relax the back of the skull, the back of the neck, the shoulder blades. Let the jaw and the lips relax. Let the arms, the chest, and the upper abdomen relax. Feel the lower abdomen and your hips. And especially if you can, right at the front of the hip, feel that spot relax. Relax the back of the thighs, relax the top of the thigh. Let the calf muscles and the shins relax. And relax the soles of the feet. Feel the whole body relax. Now, yogis, you can stay if you like, and just hang out, because I'll just set things aside before I do the final guided meditation. But if you need to head out or go to bed or put your kids in bed, then you can start by kind of wriggling your fingers and toes. Stretch them out. Move the wrist and ankles. You can windshield wipe your legs back and forth. And then I like to either give myself a little back massage or roll over to my side or do some of both. Oh, and then eventually you'll bring yourself up to a seated position. And if you're hanging out for the Yoga Nidra practice, just hang. And for those of you on YouTube, very likely this is the end, but maybe if you go looking on the YouTube channel, you'll find the Yoga Nidra practice there, and you can do that one. Namaste.